And to add to his woes, readers of Match magazine have voted him least intelligent footballer, which is a bit like being voted most drunk alcoholic.
Well, that's...
Oh, that's Cruella de Vil.
Just call me 0898.
I think this is a man who changed his name into an 0898 number in the hope that he might have a more interesting social life, because he'd get calls from breathy women wanting to take their knickers off for him.
He wouldn't get the women taking their knickers off, he'd get the sad-act businessmen in the phone booth. The chap who's just come back from lunch.
Yes,
Ian Hislop, yes. Actually gets Ian ringing up.
Do I have to sit next to him?
Dr. Owen provided another type of leadership today. He played as an old-fashioned centre-forward. Striker is the term the commentators use now.
Oh, everybody. Oh, what a lot of wobbly bits. Oh, dear. Well, what happened next is that everybody vomited. He was left playing on his own, wasn't he? Isn't that what he does? Doesn't he play on his own, that boy? Oh. Dear, it's a wonder they could find a shirt to contain it.
Well, I quite fancy him, actually.
So victory wasn't achieved without some pain.
It got worse.
I do not like broccoli. And I haven't liked it since I was a little kid. And my mother made me eat it. And I'm President of the United States. And I'm not going to eat any more broccoli.
That's obviously fueled his ambition right from the early days. One day I shall be one of the most powerful men in the world, and I shall not eat broccoli.
Hospitals told to cut costs by using what?
No doctors.
Well, almost.
Back copies of Private Eye as a general anaesthetic.
Anyone watch Paul Merton's programme? No, I didn't either.
Temporary staff is the right
That's
answer.
the answer I was going to say.
Kinnock searches for his what?
His Welsh roots.
Welsh roots? Welsh roots.
Yeah.
You know something wrong with his hair.
What?
We just answered that question, and their side got a point.
Yeah. We have our points back.
It'll all come out in the wash, don't we?
It's a block vote, Paul. I'll explain the system.
It's like a general election in the Philippines. Well, yes, this is the Royal Albert Hall for the first basho, I think it's called, to be held outside of Japan in 1,500 years or something.
And basho is the Japanese for Robert Maxwell lookalike competition.
I thought it was your favourite subject again.
I thought it was one of the Marx Brothers basho, wasn't it? I'm mixing it up with sumo. He was sumo with one of them. I think it's Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, isn't it? She gets love letters from Princess Andrew, I nearly said. That'd be a royal scoop, wouldn't it?
What's the story behind the headline? Strangely reminiscent of the Kate Bush song. Man with an hook in his leg.
No, I know this one. I remember reading about this. This was a chap who lost his ear in a fight, and the doctors sewed the ear back onto his leg so that the blood supply would keep the
This Paul Gascoigne again.
No, he didn't. Although I remember, I think at the time that he should have had the...
Oh, yes, here we go. Where should he have had the ear, Tony? As if we couldn't guess.
That's all I've got to say, thank you very much. No, that's clearly the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, which now stands for Drop Panties, Please.
Police hero strangled crazed.
Nemo?
I think it's dog.
I'll give you 1 point for dog. It's pitbull is the answer.
That's not one word.
That's 2 words. Pitbull is 2 words.
Not on my script, it isn't.
Well, it's 2 words there, look.
Yes, it is.
In the actual newspaper headline.
And another 2 words are sour grapes, Paul.
Sour grapes, that's 1 word, is it?
Next The French face fines if they what?
The French face fines if they smoke in public.
Oh, but you see, it's one word, so it could have been if they go round the one-way roundabout.
Bondage and breakfast. What's that all about?
Yes, this is the couple who opened up a combined dungeon and hotel. And you could get whipped and then a fried egg on toast.
Trust House 40, isn't it?
Yes.
Allegedly.
Part of the course.
Do I understand the libel laws? You can say anything you like as long as you say allegedly at the end of it.
Allegedly, yes, I believe so.
It's a good way to start, Paul.
Not sure it always covers you, does it, Ian? It's...
There's a safe way of answering this question, which is that Mr. Maxwell is up to nothing at all. And he's been vilely slandered all week.
And the other way?
The other way is the way to get the BBC lawyer having a heart attack. Hello?
Yes.
There have been allegations. Allegedly. That man, Mr. Nick Davis, who's the foreign editor of The Mirror, who's actually married to someone from Doctor Who. Fascinating detail.
A Dalek?
A Dalek.
Yes, well, I'll give you 1 point. Paul and Robert, any ideas?
Oh, I don't know, really, no.
Well, I'll give myself the other point then. No, I'm going to have to tell you this one. They all suffer from asthma, apart from Neil Kinnock, who, of course, is never short.
Well, Che Guevara doesn't suffer from asthma. He's been dead for over 25 years. If you dig him up, you're not going to hear wheezing from inside.
Well, he's not at all well, anyway. Ceausescu, Adolf Hitler, Erich Honecker, and someone else.
Now, someone wants to see me lose a huge amount of money.
Go on, do it.
The Labour 8, including former Prime Minister Jim Callaghan, capsized and sank into the muddy waters of the Thames. There were some anxious moments before Mr Callaghan, along with MP Robert Kilroy-Silk, was hauled onto a rescue boat. But he was apparently unscathed, apart perhaps from some damage to his image as a senior statesman.
We have a certain way of treating our ex-Prime Minister.
Round one, in which we show each of our assembled company some footage of a major news story of the week.
Well, I hope it's not the news story of the week.
No.
I don't want to speak ill of the dead, so that gives me nothing at all to say.
Which will make a pleasant change for some of them. It's the news that the Irish Territorial Army is so short of money that soldiers in County Wicklow have not been issued with any bullets, and they have to run out of the bushes shouting bang instead. I'm not sure how one side ever wins, as presumably whoever's being shot at simply shouts missed. The tank division have been running into battle shouting brum brum. The medical corps have been running across the fields going Nino, Nino. And the submarine crew still haven't reported back yet. The reference to the 6 new social categories that Access claim to have identified to replace the old yuppie acronym. There are now YACs, which are young, adventurous, keen and single. That's me. And owls are older with less stress. That's Ian this week. And then there are...
She's the only one who wears a bath towel.
Yes. She's just out of the shower. Saddam Hussein hasn't won a Nobel Prize yet.
Well, yes, absolutely right. Saddam Hussein is the only one not to have been awarded the Nobel Prize, mysteriously overlooked by the judges. Gorbachev won the Nobel Peace Prize for so humanely massacring a lot of Lithuanians. Economist Milton Friedman won the Nobel Prize for kindly unleashing monetarism on us, bless him. And Mother Teresa, or to give her real name, Agnes Bonksa Bajaxiou, won it the same year as she won the All Calcutta Shriveled Walnut Lookalike competition. Steve,
Obviously the best target, Milton Friedman, Saddam Hussein. Yeah, let's get Mother Teresa. Shriveled old walnut, what's she ever done? Who's next? Albert Schweitzer. Bastard, oh, that's a Kurd.
Oh, yes, so it is.
And that's
so is that.
That's something that rhymes with Kurd.
I can't see any bird there. What's it called?
There was a concert, a Kurd Aid,
Kurd Aid,
and it raised a huge amount of money, and the Kurds, for some unknown reason, seem to want it. And have been saying all week, please, Mr. Archer, can we have our money, please? And we know he's a charitable fellow. I mean, if you're a prostitute hanging around a railway station, he'll come along with a brown envelope full of money.
allegedly. Yes. Yes, you're absolutely
the Kurds started wearing sort of like small, tight dresses and lots of makeup.
Robert Maxwell. No, Robert Maxwell's company, Pergamon.
I'm not very interested in him, but I believe that's what it was called.
Ian's professionally obliged to know that.
The stage doesn't collapse here, does it? I mean, do they go on in that entire chorus which you see behind? They all suddenly sort of take a dive.
Well, let's see what happens. Trevor McDonald and Diamond, Jimmy Savile.
Can I confer with Trevor on that?
It will do you no good.
No, he hasn't any idea either.
Just think back. Have you been to bed with any of those?
I'm not answering that.
The one in the green hat. Now you must remember. You got drunk, you in Jellystone Park. The stars were out. Mrs. Thatcher's the only one who hasn't been a school teacher. Next.
Well, it's incredible and it's right. Yes, well done.
I'm the only one without not wearing a wig.
I think this is a leg over question.
Ready?
Yeah. I do.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
I think one of the former editors in this got his leg over Colin Moynihan.
You must have read that in the Daily Mail.
I did. It was in that Dempster column.
Oh, yes.
Awfully reliable.
Yes, I believe everyone.
So the odd man out, I just have to finish this question, is the only person not to have actually walked out, as I think they say, with Pamela, was this old chappie here. And he was reported as having done so in the Daily Mail, in Nigel Dempster's column. And Dempster said that Ingrams had been spotted with Pamela, what an old humbug, wandering around Hastings, and that someone had come up to him and said, yes, we know you. And it later transpired that Ingrams had sent him an anonymous note saying, I was in Hastings the other day and I saw that old humbug wandering around with Pamela. And Dempster, the great journalist, the true professional, put it all in totally unchecked. And subsequently looked a terrific So...
Yes, I think that's the fullest answer we've ever had on this programme.
I was about to book a wake-up call.
I was trying to outdo Angus.
Yes, later that same month.
He was kept hostage by Iraq, who we used to be friends with, and no one said a word then, but after the war we decided that this was a terrible thing, that he should be kept hostage. And he was put inside for bribery. The evidence created by the West Midlands Police Squad, I believe.
Yes, I suppose I'll give you an extra point for that, Ian, for a touch of satire. Yes, it's Ian Richter.
A touch of satire, it was just abuse.
Yes,
the points for that then. All right, on him.
You can do abuse, can't you, Paul?
Queen Mother's an old bag.
That's not abuse. That's just satire.
First man across the Atlantic in a peanut husk.
We're not that far off.
Cashew. Because llamas, they like to nest at the top of high trees.
That's right.
And come autumn, so those leaves fall down, the llamas like that.
And I'm proud to have been his partner. And we've had triumphs. We've made some mistakes. We've had some sex.
Sadly for him, he went on.
Sometimes I felt like the javelin competitor who won the coin toss and elected to receive.
An unfortunate choice of metaphor there, with rather painful overtones. Princess Michael, Michael Aspel, Michael Dennison, and Terry Wogan.
I might be a bit thick here. But at first glance, it would seem that Terry Wogan is the only one who's not called Michael. But I don't suppose it's that. I suppose it's something else. It must have something to do with the name Michael. And is Terry Wogan's first name Michael?
Well, incredibly, you're right, I have to say. I'm extremely annoyed, but you are right. The answer...
So good.
Can I question your impartiality as chairman? When you say you are extremely annoyed that I've got a question right?
Well, I'm just extremely annoyed when anyone gets anything right. Heath collides with what?
Jupiter. He took a lot of helium gas. A lot of helium gas, a wild sort of weekend party, got out of hand. A lot of helium gas, floated out into the atmosphere, hit Jupiter. Next.
Thatcher is in fact the right answer. Well done. Gasps and hoots as what is put on display?
Paul Merton's Willie.
You'll never make it stand up in court.
I never thought we'd sink so low.
You would have got
I did. Iron Lady is the answer, if you remember the question.
This is the sad news that there's £526 million missing from the Mirror Pension Fund. There's one suspect. He was a 68-year-old pensioner who thought that the whole of the money should go to him.
Yes,
but did you like him? They wouldn't let me go on the Wogan show. I wanted to go on to publicise the programme a while ago, and they said, no, you're too intelligent for him.
I've been on several times.
Have you?
I've been on several times, yeah.
Well...
And I can tell you that Paul and Edwina have a slightly better 8, but Ian and Kevin have a splendid 9.
Ooh.
We object. We've got them all right.
They must have got an extra
and he
one.
talks a load of rubbish, so we think we ought to have it.
We've got more points because you've got a Tory MP on your side.
Handicapped again.
It's
one who won a successful libel action against the Observer. I think that counts for at least a point to us.
Aren't you glad I didn't try it against Private Eye?
I bet you're glad too, dear.
Is it that rice and Brazil nuts are the only things that you can use as a contraceptive according to the Pope? It's all right, dear, I've got the Brazil nuts tonight.
How do you use them?
See me later.
Is that a promise?
Yeah. Ian,
Actually,
Kevin?
I think it's just him saying, did you see Paul Merton lost again?
Oh, dear.
No, it isn't that at all, sorry.
He's not happy about it.
That's the war where we went to liberate Kuwait. was it, at the beginning of the year?
Sounds so long ago.
It was this year, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yes.
Get rid of the Iraqi torturers and replace them with Kuwaiti torturers.
Satire. It was very successful, and we went in against Hussein, and he's still there. So I think we can call that a major victory for Hussein.
Well, at long last, yes. Paul and Clive have 8, but Ian and Harry are opening a gap with 9.
Commander Recount, what question did we not get right in the course of that day?
It's no good, Clive. I've been through this with them. It'd be better off buying a prawn sandwich. It would last longer.
Yeah.
From
M&S.
You're not getting any more points, though.
Why don't you just unplug our scoreboard?
Angus,
He's a bitter man,
how many
isn't he?
points do we get?
Thank you. Good. So, well done, Ian and Harry. Excellent answer. It's
Just paid away his entire fee.
Well, is there any point in us actually answering this question?
no, Ian and Harry.
This already.
This. 4 Jimmy Somerville lookalikes for you. Ian Hislop, Arthur Scargill,
Hang on, I don't like the way this
Kenneth
is going.
Baker, and Basil Brush.
Well, let's say it's.
plum for one.
Let's say I'd go for Basil Brush as the only one who hasn't been in the law courts.
Very
this
good
year.
indeed. 2
Can I
points.
have a bonus? A, for being in the picture. But just technically, it's all about contempt of court.
Oh, give my points to Ian then. That would seem fair.
It's Christmas.
Ian, I meant to give you a Christmas present, and there it is. Have my points at this
That's the first
round.
time I've got something free from a lawyer in my life.
And the last.
Who are you picking as the odd one out?
David Bowie.
Is wrong, but I'll give you 1 for getting the answer.
Yes, I'll have the points anyway.
Have the points for turning up.
And wearing such a smart suit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do we get a chance to answer this?
Yes,
you do.
we know the answer.
You can
to
leap
this.
in and get the other.
We know the answer, don't we, Paul?
Yes, off you go, Clive. Tell them.
But I'm letting you get this one.
Any idea
I think it's
over
the son of Prince Charles who got a golf club over his head
Very good.
and had to have an operation to remove the golf club. And,
Should have removed the head, in my opinion.
no, I think the Royal Family
Happy
did a great
Christmas.
job, but they...
Tomorrow.
Up to you.
Yes.
Did you have a nice Christmas 5 days ago? Because we get repeated,
Yes.
don't we?
I did actually, yes.
I can't wait for Boxing Day. It was fun the day before yesterday.
Wasn't there a
Sorry.
pity about Clive Anderson being knocked down by that car? Apparently, the driver's headlights were dazzled on his head. And they're just
Ian and Harry, what strange agricultural practice is this?
Serial killing.
We do deduct marks for puns on this programme, you do realise.
There's 2 blokes called Doug and Pete, isn't it?
Yes, Doug and David, actually, before you go into Pete and Doug impersonations.
All right, we'll go to Dave and Doug impersonations.
Hello, Doug.
Hello. You don't recognise it because Dave's not very famous.
Serial killer.
very good. I don't know how they think of them, you know, I don't.
5 points.
Score reveals that this year's stuffed turkeys are Ian and Harry with 26, and this year's plum puddings and recipients of a short snowfall are Paul and Clive with 31.
Oh. How lovely.
I never thought I'd see you with dandruff.
Arsenal fans remember a happy time when they used to win.
Many years ago now. And on the...
How fascinating football is.
Wake up, wake up.
I tell you, I'm not interested in football. I'm more interested in the Bumper Private Eye book of jokes.
Well, I can't wait to get the video of the Clive Anderson show.
Oh, yes, you can. And
There's
on
the
that...
video of you on the show. You were a superb guest.
I was very good
Yes.
on your show.
You were excellent.
I didn't say too much.
No.
I let you talk all the time.
You got that out of your system.
Yes. Well, happy Christmas, Baldy. And you, fat face. Oh, why I'm on the team of the bloody Bash Street kid every week. acquaintance.
Finally, at long last, an answer to the mystery of the year, as Robert Maxwell is sighted off the coast of Gran Canaria.